Well, good evening from the home address on the 19th of January 23. If you're a regular to my channel, you're probably wondering what now. But yeah, certainly over the past few vlogs has been a real mixture, a real variety. But that's part and parcel of the channel, isn't it? And the ups and downs, and I'm trying to broadcast in a sense just how debilitating the seasonal affective disorder can be. And yeah, we've had some sunny days just of late, not many, but we've had a couple of back-to-back sort of thing, and the daylight's extending, at tea time now, and well, not quite tea time, but you understand what I'm saying. It's dusk is progressing towards 5 o'clock, so it's all good. And in another 2 or 3 weeks, I should be able to pick myself up a bit better. But there's been a lot, and I've talked about the Mercury retrograde. Sorry to mention it again, I do apologise. But that came into force on the 28th of December, and we'll start to move forward again on January 23rd, so that will be on Sunday, Monday time. The new moon I mentioned, Aquarius, I don't think I mentioned the date. That will be falling on Saturday the 21st, on the cusp of the transition between Capricorn and Aquarius. So everything's starting to move forward. It's been a very difficult time, and I say a lot about Mercury retrograde because of the communicational problems and technological problems, mechanical problems, and I mean, I knew myself, don't communicate with up and down during the Mercury retrograde, you're only asking for bother. And I was a bit silly of me reaching out, because the Mercury retrograde, it doesn't just follow a 2 or 3 week pattern. It's it can be up to 3 or 4 weeks prior to the actual retrograde taking place. So this would probably stand to reason as to why I reached out to her on the 12th of December. That would probably be the start. And again, yesterday coming towards the end. So it all fits a kind of general pattern. And a lot of people think I'm talking a lot of shite. It bears true. Anyone who watched my vlog was it Friday evening, one of my hill walking vlogs, I can't remember which one, it was probably from Loch Tay, I think it was. But I mentioned about I mentioned about the Bing Maps being not working on Microsoft. I told you at the time it was a technical issue for them, not my computer. And as you can see, it's back to normal. So there we go. There we clear almonds. So I'm pleased at that, because and there's that Meal Reamer, which I talk about often when you're coming through the smog. Then there's a Newton Brig, and well, I've covered all that ground. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I don't know why I'm covering my lens of the camera, but there's nothing to hide. It's not as if I've got someone sitting in the chair or anything. Apart from grandmother. Grandmother. I've got another one to load, but as I say, it's all time consuming. But I've had so many issues, as I say, with communication and telecommunications, verbal and written communication, and also mechanical issues with the vehicles, with refrigerator. I mean, you wouldn't believe, all compacted over the last couple of weeks. Everything's had to be done twice or three times because of some mishaps, and every journey I've taken has always had some problems attached. It's just been awful, absolutely awful, and it's worn me down to nothing. And what was I going to say there? There's something attached to that I was going to say. Yeah, well, whatever I was going to say, I've forgotten about it. Used to be an old saying, if you can't remember what you're going to say, it must have been a lie. Now, I don't think that's entirely true, but what I've been telling you is the truth. Hopefully that will come back into my brain. But yeah, it's been a very, very difficult episode. Oh yeah, it's going to talk about the grandmother load. No, past that. Oh, I don't know what it was. But simply, being in communication with the up and down. I think I was. I think I'm going to be. I always open and frank and honest in my channel. Anyway, but even though my subject matters, like what is he talking about now? Generally, if you kind of pay attention to what I'm saying, most of it has a bearing of truth to it. But I'm going to accept responsibility on this one. I will take accountability that on this very occasion, when I've reached out to up and down, it wasn't entirely fair to say or even inquire about the £47,000, because quite simply that's historical. It wasn't fair to just upset her, whatever she's doing. But as I said in a vlog, was it from last night maybe, possibly, that the whole idea of the reaching out in whichever way possible was in order to try and establish that she was well. She was. I was very concerned that she was poorly, and nobody knew she was poorly. And I was kind of, well, this is what happens when you care for someone. You know, I knew I was getting energy, so I thought, well, it's not so bad there. But at the same time, the energies don't tell the full story. And I started to think maybe the energies were actually, in some respect, due to her being poorly, and that's why the only way she could communicate was with me, to say, I'm poorly, I'm unwell, help me. But I'm fairly happily established now that she's in her usual tip-top condition, because she was being very, I wouldn't say rude. I would say she's been perfectly honest. I like her when she's honest too. I like her when she's direct. I actually so much appreciate somebody more with direct, honest remarks. But what I can't abide, it really is silence. I think silence is very disturbing, and I think that was the crux of why I was feeling it's such a low ebb for so long. So I'm not sure how many people actually are impacted by the Mercury retrograde to the same extent as me, but because Mercury rules my planet Virgo, this is why it has such an effect on me. And once it starts to move on, my communications and my mood will alter. And then when it comes to the easing off of seasonal affective disorder, then I start to elevate quite quickly. And you'll probably see this from my, well, I might not even have time for any vlogs because I most likely will be scaling the mountains. Most likely will. I'm getting up to something at least. That it's been, I think it's been a restful period, if anything, in some respects, over the last 6 weeks. But I do miss up and down. I genuinely do. I think that if I had up and down, you know, chatting on the telephone, even for 20 minutes, and you know, how are you, and tell me about this, and what is your opinion of this, and may I ask you this question and see what you think. And after a little to it, well, listen, up and down, that's very nice of you to call. I'm very, very pleased that we were having a bit of a chat. May I give you a return call, perhaps in a couple of weeks, or maybe a month or something? And she said, oh, yes, that would be very nice. I look forward to that, actually. In fact, we might even go for a cup of tea or a glass of lemonade. And I said, oh, that would be very nice up and down. We can't plan anything ahead, but we can't promise anything, but certainly I would really enjoy talking to you in the telephone, maybe in a month or something. I look forward to that. Ta-ra. Bye-bye. Bye, Andy. Bye, up and down. It used to be like that. It did. It used to be like that. I think I'm a little bit annoyed that I was going to say something and I've not, it's gone. I think I was going to mention something and then, that's what I was going to say. I knew there was something I had to tell you. I was talking about all these problems and issues. If you listen to the vlog, you don't need me to repeat them, but all this stuff that was happening. I was in the kitchen earlier on. In fact, I went to get a cup of tea and I forgot to bloody make it. I was in the kitchen when I got a download. And the download was very, very swift, very clear, concise, and it said, the reason you've experienced all these stresses and strains of recent weeks and all these issues to deal with, including technological issues and electronic issues and mechanical issues, is all down to keep your mind off up and down. It's to stop you dwelling on up and down all the time. And I went, oh right, that makes sense. I thought it was being, sort of some sort of punishment or something for something that said or done, my karma. But apparently not. It's perfectly clear. It's a way of distracting me from my usual deep thoughts. So, if you're ever in a position where you're getting stressed out and you're wondering what the hell's happening now, what's going on, then it could be just a simple thing that it's in order you to deflect from what you were already thinking about or overly thinking about. I don't think Up and Down overly thinks about me, but I'm not entirely convinced either about that. I think she does think of me often, but I don't think she thinks quite so positively of me as much as I'm thinking of her in a very grand manner. I don't even know if she's got a bun on top of her head. I'm not talking about a baker's bun. I'm talking about a bun that you would, hairstyle bun. Used to be very popular, if I remember, in the late 60s, now the 70s. Every woman had a bun on top of their head. Quite charming as well. I didn't know, people seem to be very more... I think they must have got up at 5 o'clock in the morning in order to get themselves ready for office duties at 9, because they always dressed very smartly. Now they're just swaggering in any old fashion. I don't think you even go to office now. I think it's all home-based work, isn't it? It must be tedious to be sitting doing your work in the same house that you sit and eat your tea. Oh yes, I've not responded to my people. Let me just, bear with me please. Bear with me. Yes. Can you see TV licensing? Well, these people are never convinced that that I don't have any television. I've got a television, but not wired to the sky. And so they keep sending me these reminders to say, are you still the only person in the country without a television? And normally I don't answer, but they then presume, well, they have it this time in big letters, if you don't respond by the 27th of January, we will presume you are avoiding your TV license fee payment. And you do have a television, you've been telling fibs. But I was not going to respond because I can't be bothered phoning them, but what I might do is just give them a quick tinkle and let them know that I think the television is a utter crap and I don't want to be paying the likes of Gary Lineker to sit and talk and waffle, or any of these high-paid B-class celebrities or anyone else that seems to be on television. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that the BBC, well, I think it's, I think I'm correct in saying this. This is what made me also get rid of television. When I'd done an online search in 2015, and I discovered that the BBC's hospitality had purchased and used 150,000 magnums of champagne over 365 days. 150,000 in 365 days is unbelievable, isn't it? It makes me think that all the newsreaders are half pissed before they come on. So I'm thinking to myself, why on earth am I going to pay for that? So, no, I'm not paying for any of it. And I haven't missed a second of television in 8 years, not one fucking second, I can assure you. I can sit here and, spend my thoughts elsewhere. Thinking of Up and Down, for example. I don't think of her that often. I only think of her when she sends me energies, and or if I think she's maybe feeling sad. But at the moment, I do accept responsibility for my haphazard thoughts and actions yesterday, and sent a communique with about £47,000, reminding her about the time in Berlin, and so I think she became rather fraught and said, "Oh, why are you bringing this up? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me?" And so I would communicate again, but I just think a language is a bit rusty. it's a bit too rusty for my liking. I think I'll wait a few days, or maybe she'll reach out again with a much more balanced kind of wordage. I like when she uses Latin, but I don't like the rusty language that she's been using. It's not very suiting. I don't like it. It's just very, I don't know. It's almost. I don't know. It's just not my type of thing. It's like bringing out Tchaikovsky from the record sleeve and putting it on the record player and lifting the stylus onto, and on comes some bloody punk rock or something.